Good morning. Welcome to Books at the Bottom of the Stairs. My name's Lorene. I hope you're all having a very nice beginning to December. It's kind of nice here. We had a snowstorm and about 10 inches of snow, but it was light. And in typical Nova Scotia fashion, it's followed by moisture of some kind. Either it starts to rain or it starts to melt. Anyhow, two books that I am really interested to hear your thoughts on. I have read Bookshops and Bookshops and Bonedust by Travis Baldree, who is the author of Lattes and Legends and Lattes. Let me see. All right, I've got the camera turned around, so I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Anyhow, this is the prequel to Legends and Lattes. I don't think it matters if you read them in any particular order, because the main character, Viv, we meet when she's just a young mercenary and she's been wounded and is in recuperation in a seaside town called Merck, where she meets the owner of a bookstore eventually. And this bookstore owner is name's gone right out of my head. She was such a good character. She's a ratkin, and her parrot dog, Pot Roast, and the next door neighbor is a baker and called May Lee. So the four of them end up with a whole bunch of different adventures, some related to the bakery, some related to Viv's recuperation, some related to the bookstore, which is on a downward trend, but the friends are trying to find ways to fix this and make it possible for the bookstore to keep going. And there, of course, is some sort of really weird entity that comes from the witch Vereen, who is looking for a book that was stolen from her. And this book is really important to her planned methods for invading the world. And the gang here really didn't have anything to do with the theft, but they have to do with its being found. And so, of course, because this is sort of a mercenary main character, there's got to be some battles around. Explains a little bit about some of the things that we see in Legends and Lattes in terms of her passions and her belongings and so on. So we get a really nice storyline of Viv beforehand. And one of the things that's kind of funny is that for a mercenary, she's awfully soft-hearted. Really likes to get into a good fight, but once that's all over, she wants to make sure everybody's all right. This definitely falls into the weird little niche of cozy sci-fi. Cozy sci-fi. There's a bit of a mystery. There's a bit of a love story. Those are the main driving forces in the book. It's definitely about books, and what else? Which is definitely about baking. It's definitely about friendship, and I don't know whether you could call it, because of the kind of character that Viv is as a mercenary. I'm not sure whether it would sort of work as a kind of crazy extreme end of the Western genre, you know, like the bandits have come to town, let's have a shoot 'em out kind of scenario. So I can see it fitting into there too. I recommend this for anyone who's capable of reading 300-page books. That's about 300 pages, and I don't think there's anything to worry about in terms of younger readers. Well, and when I say younger, I mean like 15, 16 and up. Okay, so really enjoyed it, recommend it, and I'm looking forward to whatever comes next. What's nice is the way that the author has bracketed this is that we've got Viv's life when she's retired from mercenary and her starting point. And she leaves the story, because that's part of it. When she's healed, she's going to join back up with her gang. So there's all this potential for other stories along the way. And I think it's a really great little structure that this series is going to do, or has the potential to do. I have a feeling Travis Baldree is smart enough to know what I'm thinking. Okay, so that was a definitely good read. I just finished this morning. In fact, I couldn't sleep so great last night, so I got up and read for a couple of extra hours. And this is Funeral Songs for Dying Girls by Cherie, Dimaline. Oops. Now this is in the YA section of the library shelves. We've got Winifred, who when she was born, her mother did not survive the birth, and her dad has not really survived the death of his wife. And so, curiously, he's managed to find a job in the same cemetery where his wife is buried. And it includes a crematorium. And this all takes place in Toronto, which is kind of fun because, you know, I know Toronto pretty well. So this is one of the areas. I used to work in the area that this book is taking place. And yeah. So I that's kind of fun. That's always neat when you kind of have a geography that you can land in and go, oh yeah, I know where that park is. Okay, Winifred is a young girl, and she's struggling with coming to terms with her kind of eccentricities. She's a girl raised in a cemetery, lives in the cemetery. Dad works in the cemetery. The friends, of course, well, she doesn't really have any friends. Her classmates are typically unkind with any kind of cemetery joke that could be had. And she just doesn't really mesh. And not only does she probably wouldn't mesh even if she wasn't in the cemetery. She's just got an observational way about her that is more acute than her classmates. And so that leaves her sort of at odds with the trends. And she comes across Jack at a certain point in her school life, and they become fast friends. He's a bit of an awkward, gawky guy. Of course, naturally, he blooms up into this amazing looking kind of young man who's going to be the athlete of everyone's dreams. And Dad is never really overcoming the grief of his wife Mary dying. And so along the way in the cemetery, Winifred encounters ghosts, or does she? And do these ghosts really exist, or don't they? And then there's another ghost that is definitely more ghost-like than the others. With all these ghosts running around, where is her mom? Why can't her mom manifest in some kind of a way? It's what they would typically call a coming-of-age story, which I don't love that term. I think it's more a coming-of-awareness story, and I'm not doing it justice. It was so well written. Cherie Dimaline is the author of the Marrow Thieves series, which I completely detested. I didn't even take a look at number 2, and I don't even know if there's book number 3. But book 1 had me so irritated for about 18 months. I was just so annoyed with the Bone Marrow Thieves. This is the complete opposite. I love this book. She has got beautiful sentences, beautiful, I guess they are metaphors, but I think of them more as paint backdrops to the story when Winifred is telling the story in the first person. So, okay. Here she's describing, I'm just picking something at random. Oh, lost it. This is funny. I like this one. Chess, who's the name of a character, produced a handful of nuts from his jacket pocket, silently offered them to the befuddled manager, who shook his head and then jammed the lot in his mouth. As he spoke, a spray of crumbs peppered the carpet. What kind of person carries around random nuts in their pocket? Apparently, a man with pants full of balls. I forgot that she did little things like that. They're pretty funny. Anyhow, she has this painterly backdrop to the whole story. And this is part of her problem in a way, is that she sees the world in these incredible metaphors. Now, one of the things that is interesting to the story, but I don't think is a driving force, is that Winifred is partially Métis, and but has not had any contact with the reservation or most of her relatives. She has an auntie who's living in Toronto, who has a daughter And Auntie is really keen on Winifred, very nurturing, but the two cousins do not get along at all. There's about a 15 or so year time difference between them, age difference, and Penny is definitely the anti-hero in the story. Oh my goodness, she's so brash, and she just like there's just no soft edges around Penny at all. And Pot Roast is pretty funny. He's an overweight sort of Chihuahua Chow mix, and he has to be dragged around in a wagon because he doesn't like to walk and really hates the rain. She's a lovely character, and I don't know why I'm not doing this story justice. It's just maybe because I just finished it. I haven't had a chance to let it sort of sink down and percolate back up, but I recommend this, 5 out of 5. It's going to be part of my Woozle's Book Club consideration in December. We're going to actually go to a restaurant to celebrate another year of surviving as a book club. And so we're going to chat about this over beer and bar treats. And I'm really looking forward to it. So that's it for me today. I hope all your reading dreams and adventures continue to come true. And I will see you next week with who knows what. Bye-bye for now.